Witches in Scotland. During the 17th century, witch hunts became commonplace in many parts of the world. Scotland in particular became seen as a land under threat from the devil and his handmaidens, witches. Many were tried and hanged, drowned, or burned to death for their perceived crime of dealings with the devil and casting spells to harm those around them. One of the most famous trials was that of Agnes Finney. Agnes was a shopkeeper and moneylender who was well known for her no-nonsense attitude with customers. One particular customer was a woman named Bessie, who Agnes believed had paid with a counterfeit coin, so told Bessie she'd cause the devil to take a bite out of her. Bessie relayed this to her husband John, who confronted Agnes. After their quarrel, John fell ill with a fever, causing suspicion of Agnes. Bessie also tried later to pay with a line of credit, which Agnes objected to, so once more her husband confronted Agnes. He fell ill again and died 2 months later, causing Agnes to be accused of witchcraft. She was held at Tolbooth prison until she was found guilty and burned. Another tragic case was that of Lilias Adey. She lived in Toryburn, Fife during the 1700s and was a poor woman in her 60s, an age which was unusual to live to in those days and which almost certainly caused the accusations. A woman named Jean Bizet, who it is reported was drunk, stated, "Beware lest Lilias Adey come upon you and your child," and her drunken ramblings were enough to have Lilias formally tried. Her long stay in prison, and likely her torture, caused her to admit to meeting with the devil in a cornfield at sunset. But she refused to give any other names of other witches, saving the lives of those around her. She passed away before her own execution and was buried under a half-ton slab of sandstone for fear the devil would reanimate her to join the living. Hers is the only known gravesite of a person in Scotland accused of witchcraft. Helen Duncan was one of the last women imprisoned under the Witchcraft Act of 1735, 200 years after its implementation. Known as Hellish Nell in Edinburgh, she was famous for her séances, and once claimed to speak to a sailor who had perished on the doomed HMS Barham, news which was yet to be announced by the War Office. She was arrested for fear she would reveal information of the Normandy landings, or D-Day, and was sentenced to 9 months in prison.